I'm just going to wait for the 15-second mark.
Okay.
Sláinte, welcome to the championship week of fantasy football. Most of you guys probably aren't watching because, well, you're not watching. And second off,
and if they're not watching, they didn't hear you say
you're
that
playing
anyway.
for the 7th seed anyways or whatever, so who cares? Even if it's for your draft order next year, I don't see much of a difference in the one pick at 7th. Maybe if you're 1 or 2, but at 7th, probably not.
With that said, Sláinte, and you shouldn't be if the losing bracket shouldn't determine your draft order. Just for those commissioners out there, it should just be based on the regular
random
season.
things that people do. Though.
But
we do our punishment based off the last place game, though.
Because that's different.
I think
that's
that one should be a regular season. It shouldn't be because you could have 2 bad weeks, end up at the 7th seed. You have 2 bad weeks, and now you got the last place game, and you're screwed. But should have been the 7th seed.
It keeps people from just dropping their whole team, as we've discussed before.
You could just not drop your whole team.
You know, if you got people that aren't dicks, but everyone has a dick in their league.
That's why you kick them out, because fuck them.
Yes.
Anyways. Ooh, good.
There you go.
We got week 17. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, happy championship week. Sorry for taking last week off with Christmas.
No,
he was in Disneyland.
Christmas.
All kinds of stuff. We'll do better. Just chaos, but we'll do better.
Yep.
Welcome championship week.
And we'll have a playoff thing going on, I'm sure. There's always the playoff pick-ems, so it'll be good, and we'll be probably actually, as side notes, since we're all talking about side notes already for the first 5 minutes, probably going to have a little bit of a rebranding. We're going to move on from just football and follow us on X, because every day I try to bet something, at least some sport, anything. I did NFL, NBA, NCAA, men's basketball, and football on Thursday, and went 4 for 4. Last night I went 0 for 2, so it always evens out a little bit. But you spread them out and whatever. So we're gonna try to move to different sports. We're gonna try fantasy football. We did try fantasy football, but we're gonna try fantasy baseball. Probably.
He tried fantasy football.
Probably move on to baseball, do something. So just keep along for the journey we're investing in.
I did not try in fantasy football. 7 out of 11 leagues in the championship.
Helps when you join 10 ESPN leagues where no one plays.
People are still playing.
Lions, Cowboys.
I'm in 2 money ones, just so you know. Anyway.
Lions, Cowboys tonight. I have the Cowboys easily winning this game. Speaking of bets, I think some books had it at 4.5. I ended up taking it at -5.5. I think they're actually going to win by about 10 to 13. I see them at home destroying Goff and the Lions.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys. Speaking of, and we should have brought this up, is look at all of these games and the teams and see if players are actually playing. A lot of quarterbacks being switched. A lot of injuries, and they're not taking a chance on next season because they're out of it. But these are 2 teams that are playing for something. Everyone will be playing. You can play your fantasy studs and even pick up maybe some flex options here in this game because people will be playing.
Yeah, I wrote down safe to play, anyone not hurt. But my one person would be sitting Goff. If you do have another quarterback option, this is one of those games he's going to throw 2 interceptions. So if you are a weird league and have -1 point for interception or something random, go ahead and play him. But because I think he'll throw for a lot of yards and maybe a couple touchdowns, but he's also going to throw some picks, fumble it at least once. He's going to look like Goff, and I'm not a Lions believer in Dallas, especially. Dolphins Ravens, another great game. This should have been Sunday night. But it's Monday or Sunday morning. I have the Ravens winning this game.
I got the Ravens.
Same thing as the last game. Starting your players. That's the theme of this week. If you're still playing, you obviously have a halfway decent team. This is almost more important than ever to just start your starters. That's going to be a common theme.
Yeah,
almost consistently through this whole thing.
I'd throw some caution out there you're going to start Tua because you got here, but a couple weeks ago, Tua and Jalen put up, 10-point games. I could see another 10-point game by Tua on this one.
I don't, because I see it being my number I looked this morning, it's at 46.5. My number was 49. Without looking at it, I said my number's 49. And I'm expecting some kind of, what is that? 24, 15.
Sorry.
I forgot what 49 is. 27-17. No.
That's 44.
What was I say? I forgot what the numbers were. But
25, 24, 49.
No. Because I was going to say 24-15, but that'd be a weird-ass
39.
Game. 49 was my number anyways. Whatever. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Dolphins are going to... Because going back to fantasy, I think Tua throws a late touchdown and gets you 4 extra points.
Or 6.
That means... Depending. That means nothing to the game, but I think it's going to throw at least 100 yards and a touchdown, wherein that is completely meaningless.
It could.
Is what my point is.
But
it's almost 10 points
my
there.
point is Brock Purdy threw 4 picks and probably would have thrown another one if they didn't pull him.
Yeah.
And that's a team with a lot of weapons. Dolphins don't have Jalen Waddle. The Ravens are going to try shutting down Tyreek. I guarantee it. Mostert's been dealing with injuries. I'm just saying.
I think the 49ers were more in that game than the Dolphins will be.
Okay.
As my little bold prediction, which they're at 3.5, and I caution the Dolphins. Patriots Bills. I have the Bills winning this game. I know they actually lost to the Patriots, but now they're in Buffalo.
Yep.
I got the Bills. And they're the ones who are playing for some seeding and actually get into the playoffs.
Get in the playoffs, yeah.
So, and Belichick, I think, whatever.
Yeah, Patriots have nothing to gain. Belichick's probably gone, and Bills are playing for everything. So
the one Patriot I would say is Ezekiel Elliott. He's still getting like
crazy
5 to 7 catches a game.
I put him in
like 15 touches.
I put him in my flex on Auction League last week, and he gave me 22 points.
And someone else I like is James Cook in a game that the Patriots will try to slow down and that Buffalo is going to end up winning. James Cook has been seeing 20 to 25 touches a game, 50, 75 yards, throwing a touchdown there. And solid game out of
Diggs will probably only get 10 to 15, and that's kind of what you get out of Diggs all year. He's not
especially
a
against
one anymore.
Hey, I'm going to shut down your number one player kind of guy.
So, I mean, you're probably going to play him, but be cautious. Look for 10 to 15. And if you're shooting for more, you might want to look somewhere else.
That'll be a good option to look at some of these later games for someone who's going to be explosive, because Diggs won't be your guy. Moving on to the Falcons visiting Chicago. Neither team playing for anything. These ones are going to be tough to pick, but I have the Falcons.
I have the Bears. The Bears.
And other than that, I have Cole Kmet. He's still been a great tight end. He's getting your catches.
Yeah.
Getting 10 to 15 points a game.
I will say Fields is playing for a job.
Yeah, that good point. So, there's other people who are still playing for jobs, like Ezekiel Elliott. They're out of it.
I mean, the Falcons, Taylor Heineke is now back at quarterback, so now maybe he's playing for auditioning, whether it's for the Falcons or some other team. So, I mean, these players do have something to play for. You just don't know who's going to play in some cases. So,
Bijan might be an interesting one.
I really like Bijan in this matchup.
You do really like it?
Yes, I thought about putting
just
him
because what you're saying though. I was thinking he's a rookie. They don't want him to get hurt.
No, I really like Bijan.
They want to get the number one pick anyways.
I feel like they want to now that they don't need to or can't. I mean, they could make the playoffs. I guess Atlanta still can make the playoffs.
Yes,
and win that division, but. So they do, but I think they want to see what that rookie's got on a heavy workload, because he's been splitting. Cordell Patterson's been getting in there. Algier, I could see him feeding Bijan.
Okay. Raiders Colts. I have the Raiders winning that game.
I got the Raiders.
Hopefully, you're playing Zamir White at this point. Jacobs is highly questionable at best.
Doubtful.
Right, highly questionable.
No,
doubtful.
I saw doubtful yesterday.
And they're practicing right now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But Zamir White, hopefully you're playing him. One person, just my kind of random, Kylan Granson. Almost half his receptions. I know. I know.
Well,
That'll be.
are there names floating above our head?
That'll be
like, oh, who's
my
this?
one random call me a genius
Okay.
pick.
I don't know if I'll call you a genius.
This episode, he has had almost half his receptions in this month. Last couple games. Michael Pittman just had that huge hit. He's questionable to play. He's projected to get 12 points.
Yeah,
in my roster.
He's questionable though,
but he's questionable. Someone's gonna have to catch.
Yep.
And they're gonna be down. And I'm especially PPR league. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
He got 6 catches last time. He's getting more. And we're speaking of people who they want to see what they got. He's an example of see what he got.
Both teams are fighting still for that little bit of hope of a playoff spot. I really like the Raiders defense. The 7th rated.
I'm still laughing about my pick.
I'm laughing too.
I'm going to write it down though. I mean, it's written, but
7th rated defense, the Raiders on the year. 7th.
Mm-hmm.
For being supposedly the 32nd
that's how you
going
throw
in the
for
season.
60 yards and still win.
Exactly. So Aiden O'Connell, do his thing. Don't turn over the ball.
Yep.
So I can see that tempering all the Colts and like Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. With the Raiders trying to control the ball.
That's why I only like a receiver
and
rather than
Devontae Adams again. He's smiling because winning.
Yeah.
Makes even when you get one catch for 4 yards, you're happy. Yeah. But he may get frustrated here at some point because
he did have some decent games with O'Connell. It was just the one that was
It's been again like
no opportunity.
It's been more like Diggs, 10 to 15, and you're not going to get that 30-point game with O'Connell at quarterback. So I think
next year, if we're going to speak on next year, just a third round on Devontae Adams, depending on because I think they'll have some chemistry. I would take him as the total of 24th pick, late second round, early third.
I'd take probably third.
Yeah, as a way too early, but I think they'll build some chemistry and he will be a little better next year.
Yeah,
and consistently getting 15 to 30.
And there are going to be games where they have to throw.
Yeah,
and Adams will be the guy. So
Panthers Jags. I do have the Jags. Picked it a few days ago. Honestly, kind of worried me before Trevor Lawrence news. I felt like the Panthers are so bad that they might be one of those teams who's like, hey, we could have the first pick, but why don't we go screw ourselves and win a game?
Yeah, I'm scared of this one. I got the Jags too, but I'll talk about it in daily. I like the Panthers in daily fantasy because C.J. Beathard is going to be the Jags quarterback, and I watched him in college at Iowa, and does not scare me.
I don't know if you've seen Iowa's offense this year either.
I doubt that Carolina's defense is scared of C.J. Beathard. So it could be a rough go for Calvin Ridley. I do like Evan Ingram because when Beathard was in there, he fed Ingram.
And your tight ends are low. Like the market is pretty down there.
Yeah. So
other than that, I have sitting.
ETN it really worries me with a quarterback that's not good back there. So and Panthers. I don't know who you're starting at this point. Probably no one.
Thielen.
Even him lately.
I don't. That's probably your best option, but he's gotten under 5 points because the same concept of we want to see what other people got. And, I mean, but then again, even Mingo got 1 or 2 points last week. I think he got like a catch for 9 yards because I threw him in one league just to see what would happen.
This is going to be a 17-13 game.
I think you're shooting high.
I'm figuring on turnovers, getting them in field goal and touchdown range.
Titans, Texans.
It might be the defense scoring the touchdowns.
Fair enough. Titans, Texans. I have the Texans winning this game. Stroud is supposed to play.
Yep, he's back.
I wouldn't be so worried about Derrick Henry. I know he was held to, gosh, what was it like?
It was like 5 yards or something. It was ridiculous.
He almost ended with negative.
He might have.
But negative 3 or
But
something.
before that, in the whatever 6 games before that, he was averaging over 200 yards rushing a game, I believe. So you're
but
playing him.
This is another team. You play him, but because I wrote down, don't fear Derrick Henry getting another one of those games.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, this is a team that's seen him many times at this point, and Stroud's back. The Texans are going to win this game.
No,
pretty confidently.
I got the Texans, but Texans defense, other than that game, weirdly.
Well, it's a team they'd seen many times.
No, but
that's what I'm.
Everyone else, the Texans have not stopped this year. So for Daly, I like anyone going against the Texans. Amari Cooper went against them last week and put up 60 points as a receiver. So just saying, play your Titans if you can. And you're playing same thing. Titans on the other side have difficulty stopping the pass too. So C.J. Stroud should have a monster game, and all the Texans play.
Yeah, I feel kind of opposite about you, honestly.
Okay.
On that one, almost on everything. Because now, as I'm thinking about it, the Texans are at home. They might want to try to get that 7th seed. I don't know the last time they've been in the playoffs. And they're obviously going to need a win out to make it and hope the Bills lose in a very losable game against the Patriots. Yeah, I don't know. I feel something stirring in my gut about that one.
That the Texans will win?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Texans winning,
but
too.
that the Titans are going to score maybe 10 points.
Oh,
maybe
so.
10. Rams, Giants. I have the Rams winning that game. They're the team playing for something. The Giants are not. I think you play Nakua and Cup if they're playing.
Nakua's questionable at this point, but I agree. I got the Rams.
Yeah, I don't think you get scared to play any of them. They spread the ball around and
love Stafford this week. Picked him up in 2 of my leagues.
Yeah, they look like that Super Bowl team.
Yeah, they're on the right trend going into the playoffs, and the Giants have been on the wrong trend for about 5 years. So
yep. Cardinals, Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles for this game. Where the Panthers, I feel like, could mess it up and win a game. This is not a game the Cardinals can mess it up and win. You can't chance that. But I do think the Eagles are the worst 11-win team that we've probably ever seen.
Yeah, well, I mean, they skated for so long. I got the Eagles too, but they found a way to win. I mean, and even, it was ugly early on. They're lucky they're at that point where they didn't have to worry about not making the playoffs. Because if some of those early games would have gone another way, they'd be fighting for making the playoffs right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, even Devontae Smith said that they're a terrible 11-win team.
Yeah. So, but I do in this Arizona, no defense. Philly, play them all.
James Conner has looked good the last 3 or 4 weeks, but against this Philly defense, and again, they're going to be down by 14 points. I'd look at sitting him for someone else, depending on what you got. I'd probably sit him.
I like Kyler Murray because Philadelphia's pass defense has been horrendous.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But the only problem is Marquise Brown is out now for the season. He has been out for several weeks anyway, and he's very not dependable. So Trey McBride should have a really good game. And
he's one of those guys I always forget to write down because he's just...
Well,
he's one of those guys on your team. Like I guess I keep playing him because he keeps scoring points, but who was this guy again?
Yeah. You're Kyle Granson. Throw a dart at one of these Arizona receivers, and you might hit. Honestly,
maybe look at because that's what I've done, and it's worked out about 60-70% of the time. Looks who gets the targets, and go with it.
I mean, Michael Wilson, I kept thinking because a couple weeks he had good weeks, and that he was going to be the next guy, and then then he's hurt. Then last week he got no catches. So, I mean, it could be Greg Dortch. We saw him have one good week.
Yep.
I don't even know who the hell else receivers they got. They got nobody, but, pick one of them.
Saints Buccaneers. I have the Buccaneers winning this game. After watching the Saints last week, watching that game, I can't believe I ever picked them to win a game. Some of the play calls were just wild. But Olave Kamara is probably it for me. I'm not chancing Carr, especially with the way the offense was called. I don't even think it's necessarily Carr. Mayfield, Mike Evans, Rachaad White. You're a classic. Start the people you have been starting.
I got upset alert. Saints win this game.
I don't even know if that's an upset. I think it's like a 1-point favorite.
Hey, it's upset.
Okay.
Saints are away. You just said how horrible they are.
I said how horrible their play calling is.
Everyone is talking Mayfield, the second coming, resurrection, whatever. Guess what? Saints defense picks them off. We see the old Mayfield. Couple picks. Okay. Saints win.
All right. Steelers, Hawks. I have the Seahawks slowing down on Pickens.
And I just want to go back one sec. Remember, Lattimore shuts down Mike Evans most of the time. Evans has been really good. So
this would be annoying.
Sorry about if
he
Super
carried
Bowl,
you to the championship.
I know.
That's kind of a bummer week.
I would be scared. You're going to play him, but man, I would be scared going into Super Bowl. And I see Lattimore on Evans. I'm like, oh. Anyway.
Slowing down on Pickens. I know he'll talk about Daly later, but I wouldn't put him in any kind of situation like that, expecting him to go big. Kenneth Walker.
Got Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay, I got Seattle.
Kenneth Walker and Lockett are your locks at this point. Metcalf, I'd be very cautious of. He's gotten his points, but in the last week he had a down week, right? Because you played him somewhere. And then...
he got in the end zone, saved his day.
And then the Eagles game, he actually only had one catch the whole game until the last drive when he got 60 of his yards and 3 of his catches. So I'd be very cautious about him. He looks like he's on a downward trend, especially if he gets kicked out in the first quarter for fighting a Steelers player.
Yeah.
Bengals, Chiefs.
When you talk about it, well.
Oh, you just looked bored with that game.
I am bored with that game.
But you don't care about them, so.
I could have gone to that game, and I'm not going to that game. I had free tickets. I didn't even take them. New Year's Eve, I'm not going to the Seattle-Pittsburgh game. No, I like Metcalf out of the receivers. I don't know who else you can depend on.
Lockett.
And I don't know if you can depend on him anymore.
He's had a better 3 or 4 weeks than that guy.
Geno should be all right in this. I like Kenneth Walker. But I like the Steelers side. And I took Pickens out of my daily because of this guy. But
I've just had him all season, and I've seen...
He could have another good game, or it could be Deontay Johnson. I don't like Freiermuth. He's had one good game since he came back.
I played against him that week.
And running back is just so tough on Pittsburgh. So I don't think you're playing either one because you just don't know which one's going to be.
Always look for Jalen Lawrence props, though.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a sneaky guy who covers his props.
He's the safer one to play out of them because he gets the catches. Najee is dependent on that touchdown.
Yeah, especially
which he's been getting, but
especially a team that wants to see what they got. So
yep.
Bengals Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning this game. Jamar Chase. I'm pretty sure he's playing. In my head,
highly
I'm saying
questionable.
That he's going to play.
Very uncertain. Very uncertain right now.
The only starter I'm saying that I'm wary of in this game is T. Higgins. If Chase doesn't play, I might be. I don't know if I'm more scared or less because he's going to be the only receiver out there, but also the Chiefs' defense has actually been the bright spot. It's been a little down the last couple weeks, but it has been the bright spot, and I can't remember the corner that they have. I want to say it's like Reed or something.
L'Jarius Sneed.
He's been pretty good on some wide receivers. So if he's on Higgins, I think Higgins is just outmatched.
Yeah.
But I do have the Chiefs winning. Kelsey's obviously play.
I got the Chiefs to Kelsey is not the Kelsey of old. He's still probably best tight end, and of course you're playing him. But
if he was a wide receiver and scoring what he was scoring, I'd say sit him.
Same with Mahomes. He's not who.
But because you can put him in your tight end slot.
But who I like here is Rashee Rice. Almost put him in daily. I do like him in this game.
1 point or 23.
No, I think he'll have a 18-point week. Like Rashee Rice, Bengals, I like, same with you. I like T. Higgins, even if Jamar Chase doesn't play, because Jake Browning does need to throw the ball and will need to throw the ball on this game, because Joe Mixon he's a trotter, man. It's tough watching him because he's great for fantasy. Because you're going to get 15 points every week. He's one of those guys
you just don't watch the game. You're like, oh yeah, he got me 15 points.
But it's 70 long yards, and by long yards I mean it's 2-3 at a time. Yep. And it's 1 touchdown in the end zone and 3 catches for a yard, and that's how you get your 15 points. For fantasy purposes, great, but
you never want to watch it. It gets you antsy.
Yeah, so.
Chargers Broncos in a shitty game.
Yeah, nothing. Why is this game even on?
I don't know. I have the Broncos winning.
I got
Russell Wilson.
I got the Chargers winning. Thank goodness for me.
I don't know. I don't know what they're playing for.
Steak is going to win.
I don't know what we're playing for at this point.
He's pitched Steak.
I feel like Russell Wilson, that whole situation should be investigated. We talked about it earlier, yesterday. Threatening to sit a guy if he doesn't take less money seems like some kind of lowball fixing games. Yeah. Like trying to sit someone, and I don't know. The whole situation's weird. A lot of people are pissed up.
Guess what?
What?
I don't care. It's the Broncos.
Okay. A lot of people are pissed off because
Go Raiders.
They knew months ago, and you've been playing Russell Wilson this whole time, or you've been betting on Broncos games or whatever. So it's a shit show.
Russell's gone.
I'm not going to watch the game.
Russell might be done as a quarterback actually in the NFL. I think.
No, I think he's going to go to.
What's
my dark horse?
Who you got?
I'll think about it.
Think about it. Don't hit me too hard. The phone's gonna fall off. No, I stick on here. I don't know. I don't think I'm playing anybody in this game.
He could go to someone like the Giants. I feel like there's a dark horse like that.
That you know what? He was drafted by the Yankees. I like that call.
Think about how many people have been hurt this season.
You know, there was rumors of him going to the Giants.
He's going to be like Joe Flacco.
To the Broncos. And no, I'm telling you, I like that call because he was drafted by the Yankees or tried out with the Yankees, whatever.
For the like single A, whatever.
Yeah, and so I like that call. I like it. But
I don't even think they're on the radar too.
This game doesn't matter, and I wouldn't play anybody.
You know the Raiders are on the radar.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
No. Sutton dealing with concussion. He looks like he's going to be cleared, but cautious. By the way, fuck that whole situation. 1 play, concussion out. I lose by 2.7 points because Sutton goes out. So
the world goes around.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't help it, and that's how fantasy football goes. But anyway,
Packers Vikings. Again, before
I think Javonte Williams. Okay, the one guy in that Broncos charge, Javonte Williams is the one guy you can play.
Before anything happened, I had picked the Vikings for this game. I don't feel great about it, but that was the decision that was made. I have picked, in my defense, college football games by flipping a coin, and I'm now 12 for 13 or something. So sometimes the world is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
I got the Packers.
I wish I could pick the Packers.
I got the Packers.
Jordan Love, Dobbs has been really good, actually.
Green Bay still playing for something.
Yep.
Minnesota is playing for something, but
the only person I'm playing because I have to is Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good. Jarrett Hall playing for Justin Jefferson.
It's going to be like Devontae Adams.
Because he didn't.
Oh, great! I get to
with
play
Nick
Justin
Mullins. Jefferson. I mean, he made some phenomenal catches, but didn't have that huge game because Nick Mullins. Now
he has to work for that 50 yards.
Now you got Jarrett Hall. So tough go.
They do have the late game, so maybe they warm up, have some chemistry together, and feel great. So I don't know.
Yeah, if Aaron Jones is healthy, I like Aaron Jones. I like Jordan Love, and pick a receiver. Wicks is out. It looks like Jaden Reed is questionable. Christian Watson's out, I believe.
Dobbs
Dobbs has to be the guy who steps up and should have a good game.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Salancha. I hear football going on in the background. I'm going to go watch. Have a good weekend. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Salancha, bitches.